Hey, what's going on, Noah Nation? It's CJ Wilson here with Dope Talk. I am your host. Going to go ahead and get things rolling again with our fall camp positional preview breakdowns, and we're going to talk about the linebackers today. But before we get started, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Again, please like and subscribe. It does a world of favors to the Dope Talk community, to get our information out to fellow Noes across the country that want to hear the same type of information that you guys are hearing about the team they root for. It's going to be an interesting year. A lot of content coming in the fall as we get ready to kick off the 2024 version of the FSU Seminoles. So again, please like this video and tap in and subscribe if you haven't. All right, guys, let's get started with our positional preview as far as the linebackers. And of course, we got to start off with DJ Lundy, 6'1", 240 pounds, veteran linebacker that's played a lot of football for FSU, over 183 career tackles and 16 and a half TFL, tackle for loss, and 5 sacks. He was by far FSU's best run-stopping linebacker this past season, and he was one of the best run-stopping linebackers in the country overall. Some of the things people would try to knock DJ Lundy for is his pass coverage, but last year he was pretty solid in pass coverage, doing pretty well for FSU. So if he could build on that from the spring practice going into the fall camp, by far, I think it'll do a world of favors for him and FSU Seminoles defense as a whole, as he's going to be the best linebacker on the team and play the majority of the snaps at the linebacker position. Look for DJ to have a big year this upcoming year. He continues to work on his body and things like that as far as trimming down and trim down the weight so he can be more athletic and more fluid in those pass coverage situations. So again, DJ Lundy is going to be the leader within the linebacker unit. Look for him to have a big year for this 2024 season. FSU got some much needed news in the transfer portal when Cam Riley, the linebacker out of Auburn, transferred to FSU, or elected to transfer to FSU. Standing at 6'5", 237 pounds, he is a senior for this upcoming year. If FSU wasn't able to capitalize on Cam Riley with losing Tatum Bethune and Kalen DeLoach to the NFL draft and things like that, from an experience standpoint, outside of DJ Lundy, the linebacker room would have been lacking greatly. So you bring in Cam Riley, has over 120 tackles for Auburn, 7.5 TFLs, tackles for loss. Brings a lot of good things to the table. You see that size as far as 6'5", 240. People want to assume and automatically put him in the edge rusher situation. But no, this kid can play it all as far as being a 3-down linebacker. He's physical at the point of attack, really good in the run game. And what surprised me is how fluid he is in the pass game as well. At 6'5", 237 pounds, it's really hard to, once he's running the seam as a linebacker, it's really hard to throw over him in the window without, overthrowing and possibly throwing an interception to the safety. It's a couple plays on his highlight film in which he's guarding Brock Bowers, who was the all-world tight end for Georgia, who's now the Las Vegas Raiders, where he's pretty much running down the seam and playing the ball perfectly. So I think he's going to be a welcome addition to the linebacker room, brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to the linebacker room. In my opinion, him and DJ Lundy will probably be the two starters going into this season. We'll see how things go as he adjusts to FSU coming into this fall camp and things like that. We'll keep you posted along the way. But in my opinion, Cam Riley is going to play a big part for FSU for this upcoming year. Blake Nicholson, the sophomore all-world linebacker out of California. You guys remember he was a top-rated linebacker, 4-star kid within his recruiting cycle. 6'3", 225 pounds. He's probably the best athlete in the linebacker room. Played both ways in high school. Was great in coverage as well, and pretty fast. 2 runs, a 4.4 and a 40. Like I say, he's great in coverage. The main issue with Blake, if there is an issue, is just reps, lack of reps, if that makes sense. He played linebacker sparingly in high school, mostly was a running back, but transitioned, well, not say transition, but projected to be a linebacker on the next level. So last year was his first time really being a full-time linebacker, and that's a tough spot to be in. So it was a learning curve for him. So I think once Blake gets more reps and gets more comfortable being an actual linebacker, he'll be able to use his athletic ability that we saw on tape and saw on film. I want to say go back to the Southern Miss game last year when he got some late game action. It was like a tight end or running back or a wheel route down the sideline, and Blake ran with him perfectly, looked back and located the ball, and actually went up and intercepted the ball. It was a damn good play for a linebacker, really athletic play, shows what type of potential that Blake has. So if he could, just learn more, get coached up by Randy Shannon, get more reps, I think Blake would be a very key addition moving forward for FSU. But this upcoming year, I think he'll be a rotational piece as far as playing time for the linebacker position. I like what Blake brings to the table, from an athletic standpoint. We just need to put everything together learn the defense and that type of deal. Just learn how to play linebacker. Moving on to another linebacker, Omar Graham Jr., rare shirt sophomore, 6'1", 228 pounds, had 28 tackles this past season for FSU. I need Omar to be more consistent. That was the issue with him last year in the limited reps that he played. Just inconsistency, getting out of his gaps, not being disciplined, not reading his keys in regards to being a linebacker. If he could build on, he had a pretty strong spring practice from all accounts, from what I heard. But if he could build on that to the fall camp, then Omar could be a decent rotational piece as well. But again, he did get better in the spring. He looked lost at times last year on the field. If he could continue to get coached up right by Randy and get more consistent, that's the thing with Omar Graham, consistency. If he could get more consistent, he should be a welcome piece in regards to the depth chart and be a rotational player to spare DJ Lundy and Cam Riley when needed. Last but not least, Justin Cryer. This kid played a lot of football for FSU as well. Played in every game, mostly special teams. Last year was a true freshman, like I stated. And we ended up getting him from Northwestern. He enrolled at Northwestern, but ended up transferring to FSU after their head coach Fitzgerald ended up leaving the program due to some issues they had within the program as far as hazing and things like that. But 6'1", 232 pounds. He's a solid player. He's physical. Again, more reps as well. The same with Blake. I think those two can be pretty good players for FSU moving forward in the future. They just need more reps and things like that to build that confidence. He will have a bigger role for FSU this upcoming season, in my opinion. I don't think it'll be strictly special teams reps. I think he will be competing for a second team position in the linebacker room. And of course, with second team, you get, more reps and more playing time. So if he could build on his freshman year, the spring he had, which was pretty consistent, and just get more reps, learn the defense, just learn how to play linebacker on this level under Randy Shannon, he should be a welcome piece as well too. I do want to say I think DJ Lundy and Cam Riley, after those guys, I wouldn't be comfortable for any of the backups to be a full-time starter as of now, but that's what we have the fall camp for in order to get better and things like that. So hopefully we can stay healthy throughout the season, and those guys can continue to learn and not really be thrown in the fire and have to play a little bit earlier than expected. But as far as the potential of those guys, I think they have a lot of potential, especially Blake Nicholson from an athletic standpoint. He brings a lot to the table. But again, DJ Lundy is going to be your leader at the linebacker room without question, one of your leaders on defense. He's going to have a big year, in my opinion. And Cam Riley was probably, I'm not going to say probably, he was one of the more important pieces in the transfer portal. Maybe not as heralded as other guys, but I think once this season unfolds, a lot of people will see how important Cam Riley is to FSU defense and, getting him out of the transfer portal. So again, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have defensive backs coming up soon. Go Noles.